Man, Yoshida's out there making people mad, making PlayStation gamers mad, making Xbox gamers mad, making everyone mad. Hell, I say it's safe to say that Yoshida don't give a okay. Is this some kind of new censor algorithm? You know what I mean. I can't say that. What is happening, guys? It's Dealer back again talking about Yoshida, the Sony leader, basically explaining current events and calling console gaming quote-unquote niche. Or maybe it's niche quote-unquote. Regardless, it's got some people angry. I want to dive into his quote, give my thoughts on this, and I'd like to know yours. Actually, I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments down below, because there are a lot of people that are thinking, man, if Phil Spencer came out right now and said console gaming is niche, get the f out, then that would be an issue. Now, we do see some people mad about this. There's some Sony fans really wanting an explanation as to why Yoshida and Sony have also partnered up with Microsoft on the Azure server deal. Well, Sony are explaining themselves to those that are angry and to those that are just curious. They're getting into why they actually did this deal. They're going to clarify, and he's also going to call console gaming niche. Let's go! So first and foremost, my opinions are actually pretty balanced on this issue. Big surprise, right? But I'll get into that. I want to get into the quote, get into the news here. Once more, let me know what you think as we go. So, Sony CEO explains partnership with Microsoft on streaming and says console gaming is niche. Now, of course, as you know, there's been some backlash on Sony working with Microsoft to actually provide their customers with a better experience, and we should all just explode and say dumb things. Well, the rest of us are like, hey, good job, Sony. You're actually trying to compete here. You're bringing your servers forward. You are bringing your gamers a better experience. Some of the hardcore guys are actually, for some reason, really mad about this. Well, Sony felt the need to explain themselves, their rationale for partnering with Microsoft. So today, Sony CEO and President Kenichiro Yoshida had the chance to explain in much greater detail as to why they partner with Microsoft. And hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly. But yes, he goes into detail as to why they're actually going to take advantage and leverage Microsoft's cloud network. And as is already confirmed via this report, they will be doing that with Sony streaming services and their games. They'll be using this to make their services better. First and foremost, he says they have signed a memorandum of understanding, basically a long-term agreement. Nothing is happening at this very second, but it's their way of saying, hey, this is what we intend to do. He says the cloud and streaming services trend will strengthen over time, though it is hard to nail down the timeline. And once more, I am paraphrasing this, there's a lot here, but as always, I link these sources down below, kind of an important thing to do. He says we've been working with streaming services over the past 5 years, and there are various difficult aspects. Network latency as one example. Now, this is actually where he starts to get into a little bit of detail as to their rationale for partnering with Microsoft. While talking about some of the things that are difficult about streaming services, cloud in general, he's talking about latency, and a big part of that is the placement of servers around the world. He says moving servers closer to one group of users can mean increasing latency for another group of users. He also talks about how difficult it is to get this encoding process down to minimize latency there. Basically, a bunch of technical stuff regarding streaming, the difficulties of having very few data centers, having those data centers far away from their customer base, the difficulties of minimizing latency with some of the encoding processes here, the compression involved. He also talks about the difficulty figuring out what kind of pay model their service is going to have. Once more, I've said it a million times, Sony are bringing their games to any device, as their job listings have already leaked. They want to bring things to cell phones and tablets and PC. They already do a lot of this already today. They want to do it better. They want to bring it to more devices. They want to try to get to 1 billion or so users, just like Microsoft. So much for leveraging traditional console gaming, right? Now, to me, this isn't a bad thing. You should be able to take your purchases more places. If you decide to buy a game, the more places that thing can scale, the better it is for you. I don't care about Microsoft's money. I don't care about Sony's money. I care about my money. How much can I get back for the $60, right? That's a big part of what they're trying to figure out now. That subscription model now, he does talk about how some people play a single game for 50 hours or more, whereas some of their games are shorter 12-hour experiences, and he doesn't just want people steamrolling through those, right? He even references play as much as you like. I mean, the writing is on the wall here. They want to take PlayStation Now, let you download those games where they are actually playable natively, and let you stream them everywhere else, exactly like Microsoft. The long-term game is to get games on pretty much any device. Businesses exist for the sole purpose of making money. Reaching more users will help them obtain this goal. He says there are various aspects that we would like to look into with Microsoft going forward, especially in terms of streaming solutions. Once more, Microsoft are literally being paid to help them figure out a better way to stream their content to more devices. He says that they would like to proceed through collaboration. Now, this is the president and CEO of Sony telling you that, hey, compression, latency, data center placement, it's all not ideal, it's all difficult, it's all extremely expensive. He's saying we're going to partner with Microsoft. They are going to help us with our streaming solutions, meaning data center, technology, latency. They are going to use Microsoft Azure to stream PlayStation Now to more customers than ever at lower latency than ever. I see them doing something very similar to xCloud, where they do place these PlayStation racks into Azure network, and of course they'll do this to maintain maximum compatibility. xCloud is actually so special because they do place real Xbox hardware in the server rack itself. No extra work needed on the developer side. Thousands of games can instantly be streamed with no extra work. No coding, no porting, no optimizing. This is different from things like Stadia. This means that publishers can instantaneously have access to hundreds and hundreds of millions of 4G enabled customers. What I'm trying to say here is Microsoft have done the smartest thing they can possibly do. Sony see this, they want to do the same thing as well with modern PlayStation hardware, while reducing latency, having access to one of the biggest cloud networks in the world, and they are looking forward to this collaboration. They are going to be one of the biggest Azure partners in the world when they decide to start doing this. Now, in this article, once again, it's saying what we've been saying on this channel forever now. The plan is to leverage Microsoft's Azure infrastructure to improve the gameplay experience, and that's extremely important. So for those of you that were upset that they're partnering with Microsoft, calm down. Think about yourselves and how you benefit. This is good for you. For those that are upset because your games might be streamable on other devices, this is nothing new. PS4 games are already streamable on PC. They've been streamable on Samsung TVs, PlayStation TVs, all kinds of different devices. Sony are taking the natural next step, just like Project xCloud, which we will learn more about at E3 2019. And this all promotes healthy competition. So no one should be mad, no one should be enraged. Go ahead and bring yourselves out of 2013, 2014, join the rest of us, play your games, have a blast. That's why they're there. Gaming is the best hobby in the world. Now, Sony CEO actually does say all of this while saying that the console market is niche. This also had some people upset, but the fact is he's actually right. Compared to the billions of smart devices out there, 100 million or so console users is nothing. And it's actually quite surprising that such a small user base has managed to power such a massive segment of gaming. When Yoshida is telling you that console gaming is niche, when console market is niche, he is not lying, at least by the technical terms. But more importantly, he is letting you know that, look, this is a small market. We are trying to grow. Having access to a billion smart devices is the next step. We see what Microsoft are doing. We want a piece of that. Google's also going to try to get some of this. So is Amazon, maybe even Apple. So let me know what you think down below. It's all very, very interesting as I rub my hands together sinisterly. This has been something we've been trying to drill into people's head for a long time, and it's all coming to fruition. Love it. Once more, let me know your thoughts. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, maybe learn something today. If you got a second or two, maybe share this with a buddy. It really helps. And of course, if you are new, check out the channel, subscribe, check out the backlog, and the links down below. I'm Dealer. I'm out.